Monday Night Football, it doesn't feel particularly exciting, let's be honest. Chicago at Minnesota. Is this just going to be a case of two quarterbacks running around as much as they can and doing nothing else?
Well, that's it. It's two elite dual threats, isn't it? Like, probably both better at running than they are actually passing the ball. Justin Fields, he had a season-high 18 rush attempts last week. And the word coming from the insiders last week was that Chicago wants Fields to play like himself, to not worry about things, and to really embrace the running work. And he did that. He ended up with 104 yards against the Lions defense that, we definitely feel confident about more often than not. And he played well. There was plenty of times in the passing game that he was doing well. But from a fantasy point of view, he has to get there because he's only had one passing touchdown in all but two of his healthy games this year. In terms of other Bears players, DJ Moore, he was the wide receiver 6 last week. He really struggled with Tyson Bagent. It wasn't working for him. He was rarely over like 11, 12 PPR points. But then last week, 40% target share, big long touchdown, everything that you want DJ Moore to be. Cole Kmet, though, it went the other way. He'd done well with Tyson Bagent, but then goes to 3 for 20 with Justin Fields. And that's just the Cole Kmet experience. You never know when you're going to be able to start him. The talent, it's probably there, but it's not a difference-making talent, and it's not somebody I'd ever want to roster in any form of fantasy outside of best ball. At running back, we talked about it briefly earlier on. Donta Foreman went out of the game last week with an injury. Khalil Herbert averaged 2.2 yards per carry on 16 attempts, which is woeful, whilst Roschon Johnson had 5 yards per carry. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a point where Roschon Johnson is getting more of the ball. The Vikings, they're no slouch against the run. They sort of allowed the 13th fewest points to running backs. Where you get the Vikings is through the air. The wide receivers have gained the 9th most points against the Vikings. On the other side of the ball, Josh Dobbs, his lowest rushing output since week 5 with only 21 yards, but he's a rushing touchdown in the last 5. That's an incredible floor to gain. I think that really helps. Ty Chandler, he's went 10 for 73, looked great. You talked about him on the Risers and Fallers Dynasty video. Back-to-back weeks as a top 30 running back. And it just kind of coincided with Alexander Mattison possibly feeling the heat under his seat and going 18 for 81 and playing a bit better than he's done in recent weeks. TJ Hawkinson, 455, his worst fantasy game since week 5. I think you can start him here because the Bears allow the 6th most fantasy points to tight ends, and it feels like that is going to click back into his favor. And Jordan Addison, you start him if you need to. He's averaged 55 yards over the last 3, but he hasn't scored a touchdown since week 8, and he's just in that kind of range of wide receivers where if they don't score a touchdown, they're not really going to give you a great day.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the call of Ty Chandler. I think he looks explosive. He looks so superior to Alexander Mattison. Hopefully, Kevin O'Connell agrees and we start to see him feed the ball more, and he could be a player that could be certainly fantasy relevant as we head down the stretch.